It's the World Pokemon League, #1 draft league you could ever see. Getting stronger, yeah, I'm building up my own team. Gotta be the champion, the one you can't defeat. It's the World Pokemon League, #1 draft league you could.
What's up, gamers? Welcome back to the WPL Power Spot. You might have not seen us in a while, but that's because we've been busy behind the scenes running the league, and
one of us has been busy.
yeah, one of us has been busy. The other one has been trying their hardest not to throw. But in the time that we have been gone, there have been some big changes in the WPL. To start off with, we have two separate divisions now with the Master Ball and the Ultra Ball. So in the Master Ball, we have the best of the best trying to top each other as hard as they can. And in the Ultra Ball, we have the what do we want to call the Ultra Ball? They're
the ugly cousin.
Yeah, the little ducklings, the people who have been left behind, the bad players.
Boy.
All good. We have some insane competition in both divisions, and each deserve their own merit. So we still, our current season is still under progress. But we are currently in the finals. So in the Master Ball division, we have the Chilling Chespins versus the Sao Paulo Excadrills for the finals. And in the Ultra Ball, we have the Sapphire Salamence versus the Glorious Shadows. So, I mean, all four teams have had amazing seasons. All four teams have incredible teams, and they've been playing their hearts out. They've been playing really well. And honestly, I can't wait to see who comes out on top in both divisions. So it'll be really exciting. But that's for the season that's happening. So, but we're gonna take a little future sight over here and take a look into next season. Oh, is that a reference to Pokemon the game? Pocket Monsters? Oh my god! But yeah, we got we're taking a look at this new upcoming season. So with a new co-host, well, not new, but a returning co-host, we have our very own Jay Jingles.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you.
Did you say who
Riley?
you were?
Huh? Oh, well, I'm Space City PC, meme base god. Yeah, I'm here. Sadly, Riley and Tevis are not with us. They are tied in our basements.
Trip to the glue factory. I like to tell people.
Yeah, they're being fed a steady diet of rat pellets.
Well, I don't know about steady.
We forget sometimes.
I neglect people in my basement, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of skeletons. But within the legal limit, if you're listening to this, FBI.
Oh my goodness. By the way, this is no longer on a children's channel. We could say whatever we want. So, yeah. So dead people in our basement constantly.
Yeah, Exhibit A.
Yep.
Exactly.
So what are we doing this time? Like, we're gonna go over what? Just like, well, obviously you went over what we did currently.
Yeah, but the format.
Yeah. Well, we want to talk about. Well, why are we making a video, Mr. Gustavo? Why are we making one? Oh, I'm glad you asked. We're making a video because we want.
I'm glad you answered.
We want to help people with ideas and help with the drafting, because this is more like a learning. Everybody wants to learn and get better, right? And we have our very own co-host Gustavo, also known as Space City PC, has grown drastically. Probably the biggest
I'm like
improvement.
7 feet tall now. It's crazy. It's
yeah. Just don't look at season 6, but he's actually really good.
Yeah, don't look.
Yeah, we
just like grab a match and just burn it.
It was a really rough season in the Master Ball. I knew it wouldn't be fun, and sure enough, it wasn't for anyone.
Yeah, sure enough, you can't have fun. No fun allowed in the Master Ball.
No, I went Rillaboom, which is a very non-fun Pokemon.
It's fun to win though. It's fun to.
I had to. I didn't have as much fun as I did with my other fun teams, but yeah. But you know what though? Like it's tough. But in the end, we all want to get better. So like this will hopefully help people with how we draft. Me and Gustavo, we draft very differently some cases, and we value different things. So we might get two different perspectives on what we like and what we value. So we want to go over. What's your mindset when you draft? What are you looking for to start off? What theories do you have? And like how do you want to start off? What things do you value? I like looking at multiple things that accomplish the same thing. Rebuild another Pokemon through other Pokemon, whether or not it's one or two. If you get sniped on something, don't worry. You can maybe grab one or two in other tiers to make up for it. And just general ideas in drafting. And then we're going to go over some fun little things, little sneak-its that, that might be sneak out that people might not sneak. And I'm just going to say sneak again and again and see how that happens. But yeah, we're going to show you some fun stuff, cool different ideas, and hopefully you take them, hopefully you don't, and we just have some fun. So what were we going to do first? The season format? Do you want to do that one, Gus?
Yeah, sure. So for season 7, wow, we're 7 seasons in already. That's kind of crazy to think about. Yeah.
Ooh,
So for season
coming up.
7,
I just realized WPL's birthday's coming up in August.
oh wow, happy birthday!
Hold on, you
We
talk,
legally cannot sing the song.
I'll get the yeah, we're gonna get a copyright strike. No, I'm
my
gonna
God,
get the birthday. Actually, keep talking. I have it here.
Yeah, let me go grab a cup full of spoons. To
I'm
rattle
having
them
cake.
while you get.
I'm having
Well, you
cake.
get
You
free,
guys
like,
can do
cookies,
whatever you
so-
want.
No, but for season 7, of the WPL, we are saying goodbye to Dynamax, because it's probably not coming back for Scarlet and Violet. So season 7 is going to be our last season right before Scarlet and Violet, where the league is going to be taking a small break in between the new game. But do not worry, we're going to have a lot of fun things planned for the WPL to keep ourselves busy and distracted. Until the new games come out, and when the new games come out, let's be honest, nobody's going to talk to each other for like a month because
we
they're
all
playing
hide.
it. Yeah, everyone's just going to go into hibernation mode, to just playing the games. Like somebody like knocks into your room, and then you just hiss at them, and you have like a full beard and like long hair, just like, no, Misa need perfect ID.
The Jar Jar
Waxley.
reference.
Yeah. I confused Jar Jar Binks and Golem together, but
Dark Lord of the Sith.
yeah.
Why did it just get awkward there? I apologize.
Oh no,
Dark
sorry.
Lord of the Sith. Jar
Jar
Jar Binks. I'm sorry.
Dark Jar Jar Binks. Oh, actually, since this is like our own thing now. Jar Jar Binks' dad tried to kill himself in the comics canon.
Pardon?
Yeah. It's like he was so miserable about having Jar Jar as a son, that it's like a panel. He puts a gun, like a Star Wars rifle, to his head, but he misses. But yeah, it's canon that Jar Jar was such a terrible child that his dad tried to kill himself.
This sounds like a joke, but it's not.
It's not. Yeah, it's genuine.
It sounds
He has,
like just ranting about how bad Jar Jar is. Like he's so bad, his dad wanted to kill himself. No, he actually did.
yeah, George Lucas is honestly crazy for some of the stuff that he puts in the show. But where were we? All right, so season 7. Dynamax. Our last hurrah with Dynamax, but we are putting a twist to it. We have gotten rid of all the
fun.
S tiers. All the S tiers. Anything you thought was good is gone. No Garchomp, no Incineroar, no Rillaboom, no Salamence.
Wait. Garchomp was your first one on that list. You
Well,
secretly love Garchomp?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. It's
It has a 4 times weakness to ice. It's terrible. Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, anything that has a 4 times weakness is garbage. Do not look at anything that has 4 times weaknesses. Don't even bother drafting them. Let me
Staka
have
has
them.
both. Staka has 2.
Yeah, but yeah, we've gotten rid of the S tiers and we got rid of a lot of things that that have been carrying the WPL. So you won't be
Umbreon.
seeing the likes of Umbreon. You won't be seeing the likes of Milotic. You won't be seeing. Yep. Exactly. You won't be seeing anything that the WPL has come to love and
Anything
use.
fun.
Yeah, anything fun, really. So to make up for that, the WPL this season, we are you can have up to 3, or you can have 3 of each tier.
Yeah.
So 3 A tiers, 3 B tiers, 3 C tiers, and 3 D tiers. So
You're welcome.
yeah, so you got a lot more room on your team for new best friends.
We did up the total roster to 12 again. I know we
Yeah.
went down to 11 for 2 seasons, I think now. And we're back up to 12 because 12 is just a nice number. And I had a couple people reach out saying, I want more members. And I went, okay, fine.
Honestly, I thought 11 was fine, but hey, what the people want,
To a degree.
to a certain extent. To what
Sometimes the
extent?
people don't know what they want, and I have to decide for them like a dictator.
Exactly. They
Mm.
they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know what they want if it came and bit them on the nose.
Well, they did
Um,
vote. The voting for the awards this season that's currently going on has made me just shake my head.
oh,
Dictatorship
really?
seems like a good idea.
It's more. It becomes more appealing that each passing day. It
All
becomes.
of all of my Pokemon win every award.
It's
Like Kim
it's
Jong Un, he just
yeah. It's like you only nominate your own Pokemon. Hey, this seems rigged, and you just take him to the back and pow. Just
Ooh, not for YouTube or this video, but I have a really good Kim Jong Un joke to tell you after the show.
okay.
And if
Yeah,
anybody
it'll-
wants to know it, DM me. It's hilarious. But
It's
anyway.
just right below. I'll put my Discord in the description. I'll put-
I don't want to get sniped, so I don't want to tell it on the air.
or like the interview kind of thing.
Oh my goodness, when that movie came out on Christmas Day, I think they said that it was if this movie hits the theaters, it's an act of war. So it actually never
That's
hit
funny.
theaters, right?
I don't. I think it was. Did it go straight to streaming? Probably.
I watched it on Google Play. I remember when it first came out on Christmas morning because I
I
woke
think
up early and I was just
I think I definitely pirated that movie when it came out.
phenomenal movie. No, you didn't. You
I mean,
didn't
I bought
pirate
it legally. I bought it.
FBI, he bought it legally.
Yeah, it's to my internet provider who sent me a cease and desist when I accidentally left Avengers Endgame seating um, on the torrenting site.
Speaking of sniped,
Yeah, speaking of sniped,
I want to talk about the draft segue.
oh, I thought it was like okay, Inteleon, but
No, I want Inteleon. We can't talk about that.
yeah, true. We can't talk about any of these Pokemon. So any of these Pokemon that we bring up, feel free to pick because we're not picking them.
Yeah,
'Cause
they're good, right?
they're good.
Yeah,
They're so
all right.
yeah, they're so good that we don't want them. But now these Pokemon are really good. So each of us have chosen a couple Pokemon to highlight that we feel like have gotten better with the Dynamax format, but also a Pokemon that will add some versatility to your draft or fill a nice little role in your draft. So to kick things off. I wanted to start off with one of the absolute powerhouses when it comes to weather is Gigalith.
Oh my goodness, that thing is
Yeah.
such a pain.
This thing is base 130 defense and it's 80 special defense, but it sets up its own sandstorm. And as you guys know, sandstorm and when a rock type in sandstorm increases its special defense by 1.5, so that 80 becomes whatever 80 times 1.5 is.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, but essentially. But its defense it receives a Spadef boost.
It's very hard to do any damage to because
Yeah.
if you hit it, it's not going to be with super effective damage if you have a brain in your head because everybody knows this thing holds a weakness policy.
Oh, absolutely! You Dynamax it, and Dynamax all the mechanic doubles your health. So this
what a
thing is
stupid mechanic. Can we talk about that? I'm so
it's-
glad Dynamax is going to be dead forever.
yeah. I bet you anything it's going to be replaced with something even more broken.
Like I hope not. Like just think, double HP, you get a stat boost, potentially a speed boost, and a KO in the same turn.
Yeah, the Dynamax is a
stupid is
monstrosity. Is a monstrosity to the competitive scene, and we're embracing it this season. So
yeah, let's embrace it. Yeah.
as one of as one of the Pokemon I wanted to highlight here, Gigalith has an insane attack stat. It gets even more insane if you try to kill this thing. If you try to kill this thing with what's it called? If you try to kill this thing, you're just gonna activate its weakness policy, and it gets max moves that are crucial to this meta. So I personally think that if I had to break down 3 of the best max moves. Max Airstream,
Yep.
Max Steel Spike,
Yep.
and Max Quick.
Also, yep.
Yeah. So it's, up your speed, up your defense, and up your special defense. So
Guess
Gigalith
which one
gets,
Gigalith doesn't get?
yeah, it's Gigalith actually gets bounce. It gets.
Could you imagine?
Oh my god! I mean, it wouldn't do anything. It's base 25 speed. So this Pokemon is
It's a
you don't
grass type.
necessarily need Trick Room for it, but it's always going to go last in a normal situation. But it's so bulky that you're like, yeah, go ahead, go for it, go first, and Gigalith just returns the favor with whatever attack it gets. So
You can't even
yeah.
ignore it either.
no, you can't ignore because it's going to do damage. It gets Earthquake, it gets Ironhead. So those are two good max moves right there. It just gets a generic rock ground coverage, but the fact that this thing is an absolute beast when it comes to being Dynamax is why I chose to highlight it. It's God help whoever has to face this thing. Um,
Not to mention,
on the other
we just
side.
talked about what you just talked about. What makes it good? Let's not even think about the things it enables. Right?
Yeah, you can pair this with any Sand Rush user, and boom, you
Sand
have
Force, Sand Rush, another rock type.
mhm,
You know, chip damage.
yeah,
Like we just saw Vanillux just with having Snow Warning, with the chip damage, the 1/16th chip damage from Hail. It just
yeah.
it basically got the MVP. Did it win the MVP? I think it did.
It might have.
I
We're
think I
not
think I
sure.
announced it. I forget, but it got 4 passive kills. Just you can't bring a Focus Sash against it because it just dies. It gets chipped and then gets hit, so don't bother. So even there's so many reasons why Gigalith is such a good pick. I appreciate that pick.
Yeah, and I think with the weather options being a little limited when it comes to Pokemon that can set it in upon switching, Gigalith's one of the better ones. Um,
I
yeah,
agree.
just because of how good of a max option it is. Hippowdon is also good as a sand setter, but I think that was more valuable in a format without Dynamax.
I think
And
Hippowdon's got a place. Is it B tier? I think it's B tier.
I think so.
So
Yeah,
poor man's Gigalith B tier. If you don't have a
yeah.
spot, also
Gigalith with Yawn.
referencing what we were talking about earlier is recreating another Pokemon that in another tier, that you might be able to afford or have room for. That's an example. Like it kind of has the same coverage, a little less attack. It's not a rock type, but it does set the sand. It's slow. Things like that. So that's the kind of thing that we're talking about here. Like you can kind of recreate it through something else. But instead of fanboying over Gigalith anymore, we love
Yeah.
Gigalith.
It's great.
Did
It's
you
so
wanna
great.
do-
I'm not picking it.
Did you want to do your 3 and then I'll do my 3, or do you want to do shot
We
for
can
shot?
we can just do 1 and 2. Like you go, I go, you go, I go, I go, you go.
All right, let's go to my screen. Look at that. Revealed all 3 of them. That sucks. All right. Well, Azelf, I'm gonna use Showdown because I can just make it a lot easier. I like Azelf because of these things right here: speed 115, attack 125, special attack 125. Yes, its bulk is not quite there, but it doesn't need bulk when it kills things before they kill it. I remember 3 seasons ago I ran into an Azelf in Team Preview, and I was panicking because you don't know if it's going to be a support set, which it gets very, very good support, physical or special. You have no idea, and the coverage is phenomenal. Just like looking here, it gets flying, fire, ice, fairy, psychic, electric, bug, normal for some speed control as well, but it does have airstream as well, and that's only on the physical side. On the special side, it gets fairy again, grass, psychic, fire, ghost, electric, and also normal. So that's a ton of coverage on both sides with respectable attack and special attack stats, not to mention 115 speed. Quick, I think it gets to 183. Let me just check really quick. I'm a big loser. Anyway, 183 it is, which also outspeeds, now that we don't have the likes of Alecki and Weavile and things like that, that just
Things that are
naturally,
fast and good.
yes. So 115 speed, base speed is really, really good. And Levitate gives you an immunity as well, which is really nice. Psychic's not the best type defensively, but Levitate gives you an immunity, so you can run things like rock types, steel types, electric types, and then you got a safe switch in there. Not to mention, let's mention it. Why not? On the support side too, like this thing gets all 4 weathers. No, it doesn't get hail. So 3 of the 4 weathers. Imprison, so it can imprison any of those moves that I mentioned on the offensive side. Ally switch with an immunity from Levitate is beautiful. Taunt, T-Wave trick. You could run you would have a lot of fun. This is like a poor man's Mew, in my opinion. So I think
Honestly,
yeah, go ahead.
honestly, I didn't know. I didn't know it got all this stuff. I didn't know this thing was that. It was. This thing is an offensive monster. Oh my god! The fact that it can go special or physical with equal stats in both. You don't know which one you're going to be facing this week. And with Dynamax, you can hide that behind just a max move. You're just like, oh, it maxed and it used Max Lightning. Oh, okay, cool. Is that from Thunder Punch or is that from Thunderbolt?
Yeah, you have no
Like,
idea.
Yeah, this thing. Wow, this thing's actually crazy. But not to mention, this thing is like Calm Mind Baton Pass, skill swap to give something levitate with being that fast, trick to trick things, to trick items onto Pokemon. Wow, this thing's actually,
Yo,
huh?
skill
Yeah.
swap your Stack Attacka, give it levitate, dope.
Oh my God, yeah.
Or your electric type. But
And then you
let's
give Azelf Beast Boost.
oh my goodness. Would that work? I don't even know. We need Octo on here. I can't think of it. So that's my shot. Now it's time for your shot. Let me just go back to your
Okay.
screen.
So for
Mamoswine.
my second Pokemon,
Spoiled.
yep, sorry, I picked Mamoswine. As somebody pointed out the other day to me, it's ice ground typing. Lets it hit every type in the game neutral damage.
Oh.
So
Cool.
if one's resisted, hit it with the other.
Which is so
Nuts-
valuable.
this- Yeah, which is really really valuable. Oblivious making it immune to intimidate.
Broken.
Yeah, and also thick fat being used in certain scenarios to negate the damage from, I believe it's fighting and ice. Yeah, or fire and ice.
Fire
Fire
and
and
ice, yeah.
fire and ice. Yeah, and snow cloak if you want to be funny and set up hail.
Oh boy. Which
Yeah,
is
and-
a segue into my next pick, by the way.
Yeah, it's bright powder, bright powder Mamoswine, with a max hail on turn one. But
It's
yeah,
World
this thing.
Pokemon Cancer Show.
Yeah, oh my god! But yeah, this thing has 110 HP and 130 base attack. And its defenses are okay with 80 and 60, but max this thing and get some boosts off, and this thing is a absolute monster.
Mammoth, would
It's
you
also
say?
base 80 speed, which is faster. It's just always faster than you think it is. Which is always faster than you think it is. So this thing can also be a supportive Pokemon.
No, it can't.
With icy, well, it gets both screens.
I'm
Choice
still
Scarf light
upset.
screen if you want to.
I'm
Yeah,
still upset at you, by the way.
yeah. It's for the icy Choice Scarf icy wind
Yes.
Mamoswine.
With freeze dry.
Yeah. Hey, I mean it's a draft league. Anything's possible. But just with the ability to have speed control and plus it's pretty good coverage. Like I said, ice and ground being able to hit almost every single Pokemon neutrally with
Every
one or the
single
other.
Pokemon.
Yeah, this thing is going to be an absolute monster.
Ooh, Ice Shard
um,
too.
Yeah, it gets Ice Shard. So if you wanted to, you can activate Weakness Policy on something. It also gets Freeze Dry, which is something to consider if you're in a pinch and
Nope.
you need to hit. Hey, no, it's not something. It's not something to consider at all. But yeah, this thing is 130 base attack, and it gets really powerful moves like High Horsepower, Heavy Slam, Superpower, Icicle Crash, Avalanche, Stomping Tantrum. And it gets some stuff that you can have in your back pocket too, like Scary Face,
Oh boy.
Ancient Power if you want to go for the boost,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, Mist if you want to get rid of. I think it's Mist is the one that prevents statuses from happening on your side of the field for
No, no,
that turn.
any stat drops,
Yeah, there you go. Any stat drops,
which is
on
really
your
cool
side.
actually. Probably
Yeah,
one of the underused
so-
moves that I haven't seen yet.
But yeah, I think Mamoswine's going to be awesome pick this season. Not to mention it looks cool as hell.
It does look really cool, especially the little pig nose. Yep.
Little oink oink.
Lechonk? What? Anyway.
Lechonk. It's
I think
no
Memo's
spoilers.
great.
No spoilers.
I think Mamo's great. You did mention with your Gigalith as well, the steel in the ground, being able to boost your defenses. Like the one downside about Mamoswine might be the defenses, right? But it has a great enough HP stat. But imagine getting a +1 defense or special defense as needed. And let's not forget, Mamoswine's not the only thing on the field. So your partner
Yeah,
can
imagine-
make up for its speed. It can set a screen. It can things like that, and just enable the.
And
crap out of
imagine
this
putting
thing.
like coaching next to this thing. Like,
I try not to imagine stuff like that.
yeah,
On-
but
when I'm
Mamoswine,
thinking-
I think has the potential to be an absolute monster this season.
It will be. It will.
Yeah.
Be. Someone will pick it and do really well with it. So,
Yeah, probably
Um,
beats her.
so speaking of Snowcloak, my next pick is actually Alolan Ninetales. I think Alolan Ninetales is a really neat mon.
Ooh,
Setting screens in a Dynamax format, I think, is massive. Being able to take half damage from from turns, from what, 5 to 8 turns. Like sometimes in 8 turns the match is over. Actually, most cases the game is over in 8 turns. We saw a game last week over in 3. So if you set turn 1 Aurora Veil, for all those who don't know what Aurora Veil is, after the snow warning,
broken.
It's broken. I don't even need to explain what it is. It basically gives you a reflect and light screen for 5 to 8 turns. Obviously, 8 turns if you have the light clay on there, which Ninetales is also really cool. Usually it runs the focus sash or focus band because it's always in the way. When I'm trying whenever I type in focus sash, I don't know if you do this, but whenever I type in focus enter, it always does focus band, and I get upset.
Because of alphabetical order. It's so stupid.
It's stupid.
Nobody can use focus band. And Nintendo should just get rid of the focus band.
But a real freeze dry user,
real freeze dry user, yeah. I mean, it doesn't have much over. Yeah, no, it has because it's base 81 special attack and
that's pretty low 70. Actually. I didn't realize it was that low.
It's lower than you think it is.
It's definitely lower than you think it is. But
I mean, hey, this is one of my favorite designs of all time. Honestly, I love Ninetales. Alola Ninetales. It's so pretty.
Let's be honest. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's so beautiful.
One of you like the aesthetics of this thing. I think this thing can be run so many different ways. Like you can run it with a choice scarf. I think it's awesome. You run it with Icy Wind just for some speed control. In a Dynamax format, Ice Shard can activate a weakness policy, such as on things that are weak to ice. I was about to say Memo, but that's wrong. Fake Tears is really nice. Foul Play is always really, really good to have on a set if you're up against something really, really strong, such as this Azelf right here. If it's a physical one, usually a Foul Play will take care of it pretty well, or do 50% of it at least.
It got this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like this Ninetales is really, really good. And let's not forget how broken Moonblast is. Can we just say, name a move that has 100% accuracy, that has a chance to lower special attack, or any stat for that matter, that has 95 power? There aren't
I don't
many.
think you can, but
No
thank
drawbacks.
God Togekiss doesn't get it.
Yeah, I think if Togekiss got Moonblast, the game would just be over. So Moonblast is incredibly strong. Octo and I are very, very strong believers in Moonblast. And, you know, people doubted my Whimsicott last season, by the way, saying that it's not as strong as it was until it started OHKOing things.
So it started getting rid of things, cleaning the field.
Well, and again, the speed tier. We're talking about speed tiers and stats. Like it's a special wall. 100 to special defense is really nice. Yes, on the defensive side, it's not great, and it's ice type.
Yeah, it dies to a bullet punch.
Yeah, that's what we got the stash for. So in prep, we look at, you know, your matchups, or how many steel types. It's 4 times weakness, of course, but 109 speed.
The great thing about like being 4 times weak to something is you are very aware of what gets it on the other side of the field.
Or you should be very aware, and if you're not,
you should be. Yeah, like for example, if you have an Escav, what gets Heat Wave on the other side? What gets Mystical Fire?
Know where the fire moves are.
Yeah, exactly. So just keep that in mind whenever you're considering a Pokemon that has 4 times weakness or something. 2 moves I just wanted to highlight really quick before moving on to the next one is Baby Doll Eyes and Hypnosis.
But what does Baby Doll Eyes do there,
Baby Doll Eyes is a priority fairy type move that lowers the opponent's attack by 1. So it's like if Charm was slightly worse, but it went first. Anyway.
If Charm had a baby.
Yeah, if Charm had a Baby Doll Eyes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and Hypnosis, if you want to be toxic with Ninetales, run it with a blunder policy and and put Hypnosis on it, and it's a win-win situation. If you miss, you get the 2 times speed. If you land it, you land a Hypnosis and your opponent is asleep.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Hypnosis as well, because Hypnosis obviously has a horrendous accuracy. 60% is not reliable at all, but as we know, if anybody pays attention to VGC, Gothitelle used to be in the meta a lot. It's in there less now because of the double restricteds, but you see a lot of Gothitelle with Hypnosis on it because you'll set up Trick Room, you'll ally switch or whatever it might be, or you might attack. If there's a scenario where you don't want to, say Trick Room's already up, you don't want to whatever the other attack or whatever it is, say you're disadvantaged to attack, you just click Hypnosis. What's the worst that could happen? It misses. Oh well, I wasn't going to do anything anyway, right? you know, so in a set, for example, where Ninetales has blizzards, say the weather's changed, say you've already set up the Aurora Veil, you know, and then you have Protect, for example, on this specific set. Hypnosis is a great attack, just in case you're not going to do anything else, right? Chances are you want to pivot, you know, and get your weather back on the field. But if you don't really care and you don't want to take damage on a switch in, just hit Hypnosis. What's the worst that could happen? You just die anyway.
Yeah, and you're just like, yeah, why not click this? And just might as well click it.
And sometimes a sleep, actually, most of the time, critical sleep wins you the game.
Oh, I actually just noticed something as well about Ninetales Alola.
Yeah.
It gets Weather Ball.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, so
I'm
that
just-
can be pretty useful in certain situations. Like, I mean, if you use it in the hail, that's a base 90. It's a base 100, right?
Yep.
It's a base 100 single target ice move.
It's good
And if they
against
switch the
SCAV.
weather up on you, yeah, it's yeah, exactly, yeah. So Alola Ninetales is great. Is a great phenomenal pick, I think. Yeah, it looks awesome too.
Yep. You wanted to talk about another mon. Oh my goodness, Thundurus.
Yep, it's like I did, and the Pokemon I wanted to highlight is Thundurus Therian.
Why Thundurus
So
Therian?
It is. I think it is the least loved
I
of
agree.
the Therian forms. It is, and not to mention Electric Flying is just a phenomenal typing when it comes to being able to cover weaknesses. Electric Flying, it beats Sun, it beats Rain. This thing, it gets a little slower than its incarnate counterpart, losing a 10 base 10 points in speed. But its special attack and attack are, I believe they're higher. Are they? No.
Well, the special attack's
Just
definitely
a
higher.
special attack is
Yeah.
higher. Yeah, special attack is higher, but 105 is not something to to wag your finger at when it comes to attack. This thing's move pool, it's the same
That's
as
good.
the other Thundurus, but it benefits more from its special attack Pokemon, or from its special attacking moves. It's this thing. I mean, this thing with Volt Absorb being a great switch in for something that's weak to that's weak to electric, like maybe water or flying. So do you have an electric immunity right there, and a ground immunity thanks to its flying type. So two immunities right off the bat.
Oh, it has
I
little
think-
feet, by the way. Go up to the top.
Yes, yeah.
It has
I
little
noticed that.
cloud
I was gonna say something. I was like, "Oh, maybe Jay would think it's stupid if I said it," but then you
No,
said
no,
it.
no, no, no.
It's like Ralph from Monsters Inc.
I'm never gonna look at this thing as the same again.
Look at its little feet. They're so tiny. They're like little lizard feet.
I was gonna
Um,
say lizard as well, but yeah, confirmed.
Yeah, lizard.
Lizard.
Yeah, the Thundurus Therian is one of the lizard people. But yeah, electric flying is a phenomenal typing, having a lot of resistances, two immunities, and only two weaknesses to ice and rock. I think this thing is phenomenal. Its move pool leans a little bit more to the physical side. With I don't think it gets a special flying move.
No, that's the one
no.
downside of the cloud Pokemon.
Yeah, that's the only downside to it. That it's
Oh,
its
actually,
max
the
air
Torn
stream is
does.
gonna have to come.
Torn gets it.
Torn does, but this doesn't.
Yeah,
um,
Lando doesn't, and Thundurus
yeah.
doesn't. Yeah.
And 101 speed is still pretty good. So a max airstream from this thing was you could run a mix set with a max airstream, just being able to enable other things on the field. I think this thing is awesome. Not to mention again, weather ball. Being able to take advantage of whatever weather is currently set, and being able to turn that into a 100 base attack, or if you max it, being able to turn Sandstorm into Rockfall.
Sandstorm.
Sandstorm into Rockfall, yeah.
Why
Yeah,
not?
but yeah, this thing is awesome.
It gets
And
Brick
it looks
Break,
cool too if you look at it from the neck up. If
Yeah,
you-
Yeah,
Alright.
it looks like it's like a character in Super Mario as a villain or something. Look at its mouth.
Yeah, oh my god, it does. Yeah, it does.
It's
It
got,
looks
like,
like it.
Bear claws too. Like, what a weird design. Anyway,
Yeah.
it has 145 special attack. That's really like
That's
anything
what
with
we're
that
trying to
high.
highlight here.
Anything that with that high of a special attack can't be ignored. So if you need something like that, I think it's great. Speaking of a high special attack, Xurkitree ain't so bad itself.
Oh wow, yeah.
I might just leave it on this screen. I don't even have to talk really.
Oh, are you not are you not pulling up Xurkitree?
No, it's right here. It's right
Oh, okay.
here. I just want people to realize
Oh,
that
Jesus
173
Christ,
is.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's 173.
So, Xurkitree does not come without its flaws. its flaws are it's quite frail, but Dynamax is really nice for that doubling your HP. But if they Dynamax too, you do survive a little bit more than if you didn't, but its speed is definitely, it needs some help. But Beast Boost and 173 special attack is insane. I haven't even touched an EV on this thing, and it has 193 special attack. That's over 125 base special attack, max special attack modest. Just saying. I haven't even put an EV in it or a nature, and it already has 193. This thing is insane. Sorry, go ahead.
Wow. No, I was just gonna say, its special attack being that high also means that you can invest in bulk. That
And
you don't need to.
It's a Christmas tree.
It's it's what happens when you stick a fork in an outlet.
Yes, literally. That's what happens to your hair too. Anyone too?
Yeah, you get cool powers if you do it, kids.
Oh my goodness.
Vitor, don't do that.
Vitor, don't do that. So let's talk about Xurkitree. So, D-Gleam from this thing, even though it's not stab, is still incredibly strong. Like if you run Timid, it still gets up to 225, as we can see on the screen here. Its speed definitely needs some help, but there are many other Pokemon that can do that, such as Icy Wind users, E-Web users, which Xurkitree does get itself. So this thing is just screaming Choice Scarf, isn't it? Like, I'll just make a quick set right here. Volt Switch, Electro Web, Rising Voltage, and let's just throw an Energy Ball on there for those ground types, because Xurkitree doesn't want to see a ground type. So you max this thing. Last move you use is a Max Lightning. When you come out of it, you just use Rising Voltage, and as we know, Rising Voltage doubles in Electric Terrain and gives you the boost from the Electric Terrain, which is 1.3. So with this special attack stat, this thing is a monster. And if you kill one thing, well, you just got a 1.5 boost from Beast Boost. So I think this thing, with the right team next to it, I think this thing could be incredibly good. If you're looking for ideas, Jamie Boyd actually ran this in his High Roller League. Or actually, was it High Roller? I think it was the UX9. Joe UX9 League. I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
What was it called? Yeah, he took over a team mid-season and he grabbed Xurkitree, and it was just a monster.
This thing has the exact coverage that it needs too.
It doesn't have much, but what it has is very, very good. Fairy.
Exactly.
And dude, it gets Calm Mind. Like I can't even. I'm done with this. I'm done with it.
Yeah, no, this thing's amazing. Not to mention the speed control that it gets with Electro Web.
Specs this thing, my goodness.
Oh my god! Not even you can. What if you did? Remember, I was just talking about Blunder Policy Hypnosis. This thing gets Hypnosis.
It can do it. Yeah, so that would be my pick. This Xurkitree, I think, is just a monster, a beast, if I may. See what I did there?
Like some sort of Ultra Beast.
Yes, those games sucked.
It's oh my god! Yeah, I don't even want to. I personally just think everything past Gen 5, like from Gen 6 to Gen 8, it's just been dark. It's been the dark ages for Pokemon.
I don't know, man. Mega Evolution was pretty cool. You know, I like
Gen
6.
I meant like the actual game. Like it was like X and Y was too easy. They had some great features, but I think overall it was too easy.
Tell me what you really think.
Yeah, it was just too easy. There wasn't a challenge at all. And it kind of, I feel like the transition to 3D killed some of like the soul behind the Pokemon.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like the 3D sprites. They like the Gen 5 sprites.
Gen 5, in my opinion, was peak Pokemon. So, speaking of Gen 5...
It's fact, by the way. It's an objective fact.
Yeah, it's an objective fact. So speaking of Gen 5, the next Pokemon I wanted to highlight in this little segment of ours is Braviary.
Majestic.
This thing has 1, 2, 3 attack. And its defenses are okay. Its speed is okay. Its HP is 100 and its attack is 123. But this thing gets Defiant, which is going to be amazing in this format. With so many moves, lowering your special defense moves, like max moves like Max Phantasm, Max Darkness, Max Strike, and Max Wormwind, I believe.
It gets a dragon move?
No. Moves that lower stats. Like
you're saying defensively? Yeah. There's a lot of that going around this season.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are going to that can proc that Defiant. which doubles your attack if you receive a stat drop. So this thing, just having Defiant is going to be insane. Not to mention base 80 speed is a little bit mediocre
It's
in this
minus one.
format. But with the strong max airstream, sorry, with the very strong max airstream coming off of this thing, um, this thing is a monster. Not to mention that the coverage that it gets is exactly
It's
what
enough.
this Pokemon needs. Yeah, it's
Yep.
enough what this Pokemon uses. The super so you get a max airstream coming off of any physical flying type attack. You have a max knuckle to if your opponent doesn't want to
That's
if
it.
your
That's all
opponent
you
doesn't want to
need.
give you the attack boost, yeah. If your opponent doesn't want to give you attack boost, you can be like Thanos and fine. I guess I'll do it myself
And it
and
gets
just
Iron Head too. Like,
start attacking with superpower. It gets Steel Wing. Um,
oh, you run
and it
Iron
also gets
Head,
and
right?
it also gets Rock Slide.
Yeah.
Um,
This thing
yeah, it
gets
gets
enough
Iron Head.
coverage.
Yeah, yeah, it gets Iron Head. And not to mention, if you want to go special, I mean, it's a little mediocre, but I mean, it gets Heat Wave. Um,
That would be kind of sneaky, actually. Like, we don't realize this. It only has 57 special attack, but if you have something on the other side of the field, like a Ferrothorn or something like that, that might be a problem in prep. I don't know what it does. Obviously, I have to do a damage calc or whatever. But
Aerothorn. Oh, it sits there. It's
like as a max move or something like that, if you find that a special move, like you don't have to just go one side. And this isn't for you guys. This is just for everybody listening. You don't just have to
yeah.
go one way. Like you could just
Oh, wait,
run.
are we being recorded?
Yeah, like 109 special attack is not terrible. So a max flare, 130 like power, it could OHKO something, right? So just keep that in your back of your minds, everybody listening.
Yeah, exactly. This thing has the coverage that it needs, and it hits like an American truck. God bless this country. God bless it.
Land that I love.
Stand beside her
Yeah,
and guide her.
I'm not even
And
American, and I know that song.
it's it's just our propaganda reaches worldwide. It knows no borders. It knows. So yeah, enough of our braviary. What you got next?
What do I have next? Let me see. What do I have next? I got something that I had last season actually. I got a Hitmonchan here as well. Hitmonchan is awesome. We don't like fake out as much as we did last season because the Dynamax and fake out just if you guess wrong you just die usually if you fake out the wrong slot.
Oh
Um,
no.
but Hitmonchan is actually really good. In the right matchup, it has just enough offense that it can max. It's got the good coverage. It's got inner focus is nice just in case you have a prominent fake out user or prevalent fake out user on the other side of the field. Inner focus for intimidates, and you have your Iron Fist for all your punching moves and things like that. You do have a little sneaky thing too, by the way. This thing's special attack is so bad. A vacuum wave just might work for activating a weakness policy on your partner.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that would be a little sneaky thing. I think this thing gets a lot of things. This is kind of like a value B tier pick. Like I think this thing does so many different things, and you could probably make 6 or 7 different sets that you can use throughout the season, such as feint, fake out, coaching, close combat. You can run Iron Funts with all 3 elemental punches. It does get bullet punch as well, so like this thing can activate policy on rock types and fairy types and things like that. So yeah, this thing, not to mention one thing as well, feint is probably the most underused, underrated move in the game, or one of them. Being able to break a protect is just, I used it 1 week. I had feint, I forget who I was facing last season, and it didn't come into play a lot, but being able to attack into a slot and just have zero care in the world for a protect, you don't have to worry about someone reading you, you just hit feint, and then your partner just KOs whatever it's about to hit. So
Yeah, and if you like guess wrong and it's not going to protect either way, you get a little bit of chip damage on it.
yeah, plus 2
Yeah, so
priority.
if you're playing against something that you know has to protect turn one, like let's say a speed boost Pokemon,
Yep.
or like something that has to activate like a toxic heal or something of the sorts. Yeah, Hitmonchan is able to just feint, and then you can just
Not feint, but use the feint.
oh yeah, but use the feint.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it. Yeah, yeah. Memento.
no, it doesn't
is-
get Memento.
No, I was just saying like it makes you faint.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Explosion.
like Memento. Not to mention this gets round.
Oh my goodness, round.
No, but yeah, it being able to have things like feint, helping hand, quick guard, fake out. This thing can also be as supportive, just as it is offensive.
It gets a billion things. You could run this 6
Yeah.
ways from Sunday. It even gets Sunny Day and Rain Dance. Like you can run this thing a bunch of different ways. So very cool, Mon. I enjoyed it, and hopefully somebody also enjoys it this upcoming season.
Yeah, I had fun with it when I had it one season. This thing's awesome.
I had more fun.
Yeah, okay, pal.
It's a
Okay,
competition.
It's
I had
not.
more fun than
It's,
you.
my fun can beat up your fun.
Yeah, my Hitmonchan could beat up your Hitmonchan.
Oh, I'm running. What does it get to hit? Oh, it doesn't get anything. I was like, what psychic move does it get? It gets rest and agility. It gets-
Sweet.
yeah. So, moving on to another Pokemon I wanted to highlight for this video is Haxorus.
You and your
Now-
physical attackers.
Yeah, exactly. I've been. Oh wow. Yeah, they've all been physical attackers thus far.
Well, Thundy.
Huh?
Thundy.
Yeah, Thundy. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. True.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just
yeah,
looks
yeah,
like
yeah,
a physical attacker.
Yeah.
Um,
With the feet.
Yeah, with its feet. So speaking of feet, that's like,
Speaking of feet,
speaking of feet, we got
segue
Haxorus
right
with,
into Haxorus.
with the dogs out. With
This is the coolest looking Pokemon in history.
and this shiny. This shiny.
You said it.
You said wow, shiny. Evans is punching the air right now. But yeah,
He
this
doesn't
thing,
listen
in
to
addition to looking super fucking sick, it has 147 base attack, 90 defense,
90 defense,
70
actually.
70 special defense, which makes this thing a prime assault vest candidate, and 97 speed. So it just being right under 100 is still isn't hindering enough to this
Don't
Pokemon.
draft. Don't draft this thing,
that-
people, please.
Oh my god!
In the Master Ball tier, don't draft it.
Yeah, but this
not even
thing
good.
with Dynamax, it's absolutely crazy what this thing can get away with.
Crazy garbage, right?
It's like it gets the moves that we were talking about, Max Steel Spike and Max Quake. Not to mention any dragon type stab coming out from this Pokemon is going to hit like an absolute truck. It also gets first impression Night Slash, and not to mention Dragon Dance. So you can So if you get a Dragon Dance up with this thing, dude, it's over. If they have no speed control on the other side, this thing is popping off.
Someone's gonna draft this now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, this coverage that this thing gets is crazy. It gets Rock Slide, it gets Snarl, Rock Tomb, Brick Break, Shadow Claw, Psycho Cut, Stomping Tantrum, Endeavor, Night Slash, Scale Shot, Earthquake, Surf if you want to be cheeky, Crunch, Superpower, Close Combat, Poison Jab, X Scissor, Iron Tail. This thing is we were talking about other Pokemon that get more exactly the moves that it needs. This thing gets exactly the moves that it needs and more. If there's a fairy on the other side, say goodbye, because this thing is grabbing a Max Steel. It's taking a Steel Spike straight to Pound Town. Not to mention Poison Jab too. If you have any doubts with Iron Tail, or if you wanted to use it outside of Dynamax, this thing is an absolute monster, dude. This thing is crazy.
I also agree. I am quickly trying to recreate the Choice Scarf set that Tevis ran one season. It is incredibly good. Like this thing, like, hold on, let me just change it.
Not to mention this thing, its shiny looks so.
What? What?
It's where is it? It's shiny. Look at that.
Hold on, let me go back to yours.
Look at
Oh
that.
my goodness, yeah, I forgot. When you were saying it's shiny, it looks good. I'm like, yeah. When I saw just now, and I was like, he's
It
right,
literally-
actually.
Ever. It's like it's possibly the best shiny in the game.
Well, I just
I remember
changed
when
mine.
I was a kid, when I was playing Pokemon, what's it called? Black and White for the first time. I shiny hunted this thing so hard. I failed because I was like 12 years old and I just gave up. I was like, whatever. But this thing is so awesome.
Like,
I was going to actually I was thinking about making this thing my mascot at one point.
ooh.
But my team would have been the H-Town Hacks, and then I googled it and somebody already came up with it, so I was like, I'm not clever. And this is
You're very
like,
clever.
no.
Well,
Yeah.
I just made the Haxorus set too. If anybody's looking at Haxorus, this thing gets Snarl, Breaking Swipe, Dragon Claw, and Poison Jab for a Choice Scarf set. What lead could you possibly lead against this thing?
Fake out in a fairy move.
Name anything else. Name 5 other things.
Name five other things.
So
Five other fairies.
this set actually might just be what the doctor ordered one week. Just so I just threw it at 134 speed, and just this is a magic number for me because this when you get to 134 at +1, it gets to 201 or 202. I think it's 201, and that outspeeds your base 130 speed Pokemon, and there's a lot of them, and a lot of them are very, very good. So that's just a magic number for me. So a Scarf, I like to get to 134 just so, but obviously in Draft League you get to whatever you need to outspeed, which is really nice. But having Snarl and Breaking Swipe on the same set, being that fast or as fast as you like, this thing gets to incredible speeds with a Scarf. So this thing is also, it just hits really hard too with its obvious attack stat and things like
Not
that.
to mention
So
Mold Breaker.
Mold Breaker as well.
Ability. Yeah.
And that's I've actually got that on this set as well. You know, in a case where, like, say you want to hit a Rotom with a ground type move or something like that. Like, say Rotom, you know, Rotom sometimes thinks it's safe. Yeah, and then you run into a Haxorus and you get hit with an Earthquake and it just dies. So there's little things like that. With two really, really nice abilities. Rivalry probably has a place, but on Showdown it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, I think we got rid of any of the Pokemon that have guaranteed what's it called, genders.
Ooh, all of the Cloud Pokemon, but actually.
Yeah, the Genies are guaranteed male, men. Hatterene is guaranteed female.
I call them
Grimmsnarl's
Cloud
guaranteed
Pokemon,
male.
but they're Genies. Why do I call them Cloud Pokemon? You don't have to answer
It's- They have clouds.
They have clouds, yes, and tiny feet. So my next Pokemon that I have is Butterfree. Throwback
Tiny
to
feet.
Season 1. No Spore. Enter Compound Ice Sleep Powder. So Sleep Powder gets to, what? Is it 97% accurate Sleep Powder? I think that's what it gets to, or is it 93? I think it's 97. I could be wrong.
It's pretty high.
Someone...
Octo had it season 1, right?
He did, and he did really well with it. He actually
He won. He won with it.
he won a championship with it. He didn't bring it to that match, I don't think, but it got him there for sure. He actually
G-Max
this
Befuddle.
thing. G-Max Befuddle, Pollen Puff, Tailwind, and it also gets Hurricane as well. So this thing, Rage Powder, this thing can just do everything. So as low as its stats are when it comes to a base stat total, actually 90 special attack is not bad. Interesting. But yeah, the Butterfree could just be awesome, right? Just putting things to sleep. You usually throw a Choice Scarf on this thing. You can
Yeah,
throw a U-turn
Riley
on
also
it.
did well. Did well on the ladder with a Pikachu Butterfree team.
That actually sounds broken.
Yeah, it was. And also somebody also did it at a local. I think it was at Salt Lake at one of the regionals. Somebody ran Butterfree because nobody was running safety goggles.
Wow.
'Cause
Yeah, that
people
is a hard
immediately-
item to commit to, unless you're
Yeah,
running into
'cause-
Venusaurs.
Yeah, but like even then, people in the meta prefer to Dynamax their Venusaurs.
That's true.
Yeah, but yeah, there was no safety goggles, and somebody saw the opportunity for Butterfree and just went to town. Nobody was ready for it, and they did really well with it. I think they made Top Cut, but might have dropped out the next day. But they did really well with it.
See, and that's on the ladder too, or that's in a tournament. Imagine if you had this thing on a team where you didn't have to face Butterfree counters every single week. Some teams might not have a Butterfree counter, right? Like in a Draft League format, every Pokemon that you thought was good gets better in a Draft League format because you're not facing its checks every single week or every single match you go up against. You know, like Rillaboom's not here. You know, for example, you're not facing a Rillaboom. You're not facing an Incineroar every single week. Things that usually shut down, you know, usually overlooked Pokemon. So things like that can usually thrive in Draft League, which is why it's so fun. So Butterfree's my second B tier pick. What's your next one? Actually, I can see it.
My last B tier pick is the beloved Osmosis Jones.
The coolest
Reuniclus.
design in Pokemon.
I love this thing's design. This thing is one of my favorite designs of all time.
What is it?
And Reuniclus, it's a cell.
It's apparently a multiplying Pokemon when it comes to the
Yeah,
species.
because cells divide.
It looks really cool. It looks like it wants to be
Yeah.
a bear.
Its shiny is also really cool.
It's what?
It's good. It's what? Yeah, but its shiny looks really cool. Making it like a cool blue color looks really awesome. But yeah, this thing actually won me a championship. Don't pull up the stats.
Games played.
Yeah, games played 0, turns played 0, bench warmer status
It
0.
was the best at
Um,
warming the bench.
yeah, exactly. This thing kept the bench nice and hot for me, but that was also a format without Dynamax. Actually, Bars the first week said he was terrified of this thing, and that when he was going up against some of his friends, they kept memeing on him with him.
It
With
gets a lot
this,
of
which
memes.
yeah, it gets a lot of memes. I actually ran this thing a little bit on the latter series, which was whichever the one was without like the good Pokemon in it. Um, what was it? Series 7 maybe?
Series 7, Series 6 had, the ban list, right? It had like
Yeah.
no Rillaboom,
Six,
no
there we go.
Whimsicott.
Series 6. I ran this thing in Series 6 with Tangrowth and weakness policy on it. So I would just like Calm Mind, um and then max it Brutal Swing, um and then just start stacking. And then after max is done, you have a very, very powerful stored power on this thing. But looking at its stats, this thing is 110 base HP and 125 base special attack. With three really, really good abilities in Overcoat, Magic Guard, and Regenerator. All three abilities are really useful. Um, it's psychic. It's the psychic type is okay, but it's okay defensively, but it's a monster defensively. Or no, sorry, I got that mixed up. It's okay defensively, but it's a monster offensively. Right, I think I said it right that time.
Yes.
Yeah. So this thing's coverage out the wazoo. Don't look at the physical moves because you're never going to be clicking them. But this thing is really, really good supportively. Being able to set up Trick Room, being able to imprison Trick Room as well. Gets Helping Hand, gets the screens, gets Thunder Wave, gets Safeguard, Pain Split, Skill Swap, Wonder Room, Future Sight, Charm, Recover. This thing's really, really awesome on the supportive side, but also offensively, it gets all the psychic moves. It gets Shadow Ball, it gets Thunder, Energy Ball, Flash Cannon, um, and that's about it. But that's all it really needs for this thing to be an absolute menace on the field. I mean, especially with that 125 special attack. This thing maxed, watch out for it. Like it can do tons of damage. Not to mention that its HP is 110, and so you can definitely just max this thing and have it live through a couple of things.
Yeah, I think this thing, the fact that it's base 30 speed too, which means it's just prime for Trick Room. Like you can run this thing so many different ways. I said 6 ways from Sunday last time. Like even Charm.
This thing is
that.
like 4 ways till Thursday. This thing's
Nice. If it's a Sunday, yes, 4 days till Thursday is correct.
yeah.
I personally, everybody has those Pokemon that they know are good, but they don't like using them themselves. Reuniclus is one of those Pokemon for me. It's looking at it at face value. It's got Overcoat, which is very usable, can't be put to sleep through powders. Magic cards, so you get no recoil from your life orb, and Regenerator for those annoying sets where you just switch it out and gain a third of your health back. This thing could be a monster on a draft league team, but for some reason I just have never pulled the trigger to have it, and until I actually do, I probably won't. I don't know why.
Hey, I had it and did really well with it.
You did so well with it. You did really well with it in your presence, so it cheered.
Yeah, it was
incredibly well.
in the party technically, like flag on.
It died in the Gmax battle, in the Dynamax battle. It died, and it was just cheering you on.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
It healed my Pokemon from the bench.
It made that Solrock so much better, right?
Yeah.
I hated that thing. Why would they give it? Anyway?
God.
Sword and Shield
So
is such
stupid.
an average game. My goodness. It's what?
Oh, it sucks. Is what I was gonna say.
What? Okay,
Yeah,
so
hot take.
hot take. So my last beat
What you
tier,
got for your last beat tier? Oh, sorry.
I got Salazzles, and the reason I'm saying Salazzles is because I've got 3 of them here. I made 3 sets just because this thing is a lot of fun. In a draft league, what I like to do is I usually like to pick a very versatile Pokemon early, and as you can see in a lot of everybody else's draft leagues, you see Pokemon like Dragapult, you see Sneasel, Weavile usually picked, things that are able to support many, many things to make the rest of your draft easier, just in case you get sniped. Salazzle is one of those Pokemon, and here's why. Salazzle checks off many boxes for me. Obviously a fake out user, very valuable in a format that doesn't have a ton of them, especially like this season. Respectable special attack with 111, actually more than respectable. The speed tier is great at 117. So 115 was, we were saying Azelf, it just goes incredibly fast and KOs everything. Well, 117 is a bigger number than 115, which means it goes first if you spec it to do so. Anyway.
That's crazy.
Right? This thing has Focus Sash written all over it, but I do have 3 sets. One has an eject pack on it, which I'll get into in a second. But the first set I have is just a standard offensive set. Fake Out, Heat Wave, Sludge Bomb, Protect. You know, it just does damage, comes in, a little bit of a pain. Fakes out, you know, does a little bit of damage, and just faints. Or switches out for Fake Out later. Very cool, very basic set. The next set I have is another Focus Sash set, but has Fake Out, Beat Up, Heat Wave, and Sweet Scent. I know there's somebody out there laughing at me right now by saying Sweet Scent. What Sweet Scent does is lowers your foe's evasiveness by 2, making a lot of inaccurate moves accurate. With 117 speed, this thing could be very, very good. We're talking Hypnosis and just sleep powders, things like that, that usually don't have the accuracy that a Butterfree does with Compound Eyes. Sweet Scent could actually be sneaky enough in a draft league, and it's not even really in the cheese category for me. I think it's just it's not really used. Imagine being able to hit a Hydro Pump, Fire Blast, and Thunders, you know, against the same Pokemon just from one move, right? And then I've got the Beat Up there just in case you wanted to grab a Justified Mon, which is very cool in draft league if you're not ready for it. It basically is a free win button. A lot of people don't know Salazzle. Yes, a what button?
What? Jamie, can you play that back again for us?
Yeah, we need a Jamie. We're hiring.
We do.
We don't pay much.
Yeah, we don't pay at all. We don't pay
only in stock. So yeah, Beat Up could be really good. But the last set I have is kind of cool, actually. I've seen this run before, and this is a really neat set. So Salazzle is fast enough, but frail enough that it can hit incredibly hard and get switched out by lowering a stat, right? So the reason why Salazzle is a prime user of this item and this Overheat combo is Oblivious makes it so you can't be intimidated. Usually Eject Pack is you get intimidated, you get switched out. Usually you have it on another Intimidate Mon yourself, like Hitmon Top or something like that. And this thing can't be intimidated, so it doesn't get forced switch out unless it gets max. So usually what you do is you go in based on the situation, you run Fake Out first or you use Overheat, drop your special attack by 2, do a crazy amount of damage, and then you get eject packed out before you actually get hit. So Salazzle could potentially Oko something right off the bat and then just get switched out. Usually a ground move comes in, you have a flying Pokemon or Levitate Mon in the back. You just did a crazy amount of damage and just got whiffed on. So a very, very neat strat knockoff I just have there in Fake Tears just to show everybody what else
it also gets like Swagger, Breaking Swipe,
a lot of
Disable,
fun stuff.
Encore. Yeah, this thing's actually more of a supportive monster than I thought.
Yep. Salazzle's very, very good. And I like to put my draft on easy mode, everybody, personally. And here's how you do so. You draft something that could be used with many other things first, or second, or third. Some people like getting their big bopper first. I personally like getting something because I don't trust all of you out there. Yes, all of you that I draft with to not snipe me. So, for example, Dragapult.
Off Great March.
Yeah, Great Marsh sniping me. Well, EC sniped me before the draft started, so that was cool.
He got what he deserved, didn't he?
Oh my goodness. He didn't even use the Mew properly. I had so many Mew sets ready and I got sniped.
We love you.
We love you. Never change. Never change. He's actually taking the season off, everybody, whoever doesn't know. I think he just wants to focus on his Dutch national team for VGC, actually. So
wants to focus on his Dutch. He's not very good at it.
Oh my goodness. That's just such an insult. It's like you can't speak your own native language well. I don't know if that's where you're going with that, but that's what I did with it. So Salazzle.
No, yeah, that's exactly it.
Salazzle, very, very cool. I think it can be used so many different ways, and it puts your draft on easy mode because it can Fake Tears, it can just hit things hard, it gives you fire coverage, which is hard to get, and Fake Out usually checks off a bunch of boxes from on your draft list, your wish list before it even starts. So actually, after your first pick, it would. Can't pick something before the draft starts, boys. Yep. So we've taken a long time getting through the A and B tier. So I think maybe we should kind of just go a little quicker with maybe the C and the D tiers. Nobody gives a crap
Yeah,
about those anyway.
We'll just start firing off of these real quick, like a Poke Rap. So
Oh my goodness, the Poke Rap.
yeah. So for my C tier, I'm just gonna highlight. Actually, what if we just did only two C tiers and two D tiers each?
I want to mention all three. I just don't want to talk about them for very long.
Okay, cool. I'm deleting Ditto and Scoldipede. They suck.
Yeah, they're not even good.
Yeah. So Ditto. Everybody knows what Ditto does.
Shout
It just
out
transforms.
Dogsy.
Yeah, shout out Dogsy, absolute monster with it. Nobody does Ditto better than Dogsy. Dogsy's the best at Ditto that I've ever seen.
No one's
but,
better. I know people like that. I know so many people like that.
So I wanted to highlight Scorch. It's a newcomer. Has really good all-around stats. If you don't look at defense, 100 HP, 115 attack, 90 special attack, 90 special defense, 65 speed. It's all right. Firebug has a lot of weaknesses, but what this thing does have is its G-Max. It's G-Max, which
I think it's Inferno.
It's like that.
You can't switch. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's basically G-Max Charizard.
Spin. Yeah, I think it's yeah.
Yeah, it's basically it gets Flash Fire, White Smoke, which prevents you from lowering its special. It's
any
sorry,
stat.
not special. It's any stat. Flame Body, Flash Fire, pretty good abilities, decent coverage. It gets Solar Beam and Power Whip. It gets Scald, Scald.
Enough.
Yeah, Skitter's back, Scorching Sands, Overheat, Leech Life to give it health back. What's it called? Lunge for a guarantee stat lowering. Will-O-Wisp if you needed to.
Wait, Struggle Bug?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah, this thing gets Struggle Bug. It also Burn Up to get rid of its fire typing. And it also gets Crunch, Flame Wheel. It gets a lot of pretty good moves. Not to mention a coil set with this thing. Just making it an absolute monster. I think this thing is a pretty good in the C tier. Not to mention its G-Max form.
It's really cool looking too.
Yeah, too. So, what's your next C tier? We're just gonna zoom through these.
I kind of like the Scorch. I could talk about that for a while, actually.
Yeah, we could, but we don't got all day. We got
well,
you set the parameter.
I have to mention the Pikachu.
What? Best friend?
Pokemon's favorite Pokemon, and what all non-Pokemon fans call every Pokemon is Pikachu. Pikachu, what can we say about Pikachu? Its unique item in Light Ball, it doubles its attack and special attack, which doesn't seem like much. And especially when you look at the base stats, 55 and 50, a lot of people, they go, oh, 55 times 2 gives you 110 and 50 special attack. Actually, yeah, no, that's not how it works. So what you do is you take the stat itself and then you double it. So now instead of a 55 base attack stat, which gets you to 110, the max attack you can have with 110 is around, I don't know, 180, 190, things like that. If you double this attack stat, it actually gets to 234. That's higher than Metagross. That's higher than Conkeldurr. That's higher than Pikachu does more damage than Conkeldurr, and
that's the power of friendship.
That's the power of friendship, and not to mention on the special side too. So it's not quite as high. Like if you ran Modest or something like that, you get to 224. Yeah, it's not even that high, right? Yeah, it's pretty friggin' high. But the one thing that Pikachu does best is its G-Max. What's it called? Gigavolt?
G-Max Rising Voltage, maybe? No.
G-Max
Volt.
Paralyze everything.
Yeah.
G-Max Nuzzle. That's basically what it is. That does insane damage.
Oh god, I use this move so many times. Why don't I know the move?
Just Google it while I'm talking.
Volt Crash. There we go.
G-Max Volt Crash. This thing it can cripple an entire team. If there's no ground types on your opponent's team, you lead this thing.
And you're faster? Oh my god.
Yeah, and you double your HP, as we mentioned, is a broken mechanic. So you double your HP. Yes, it's only 35 HP. You get one hit off it, either KOs something or paralyzes half his team. So this thing is it's just really, really good. And you can run Lightning Rod and all these other things. You can Choice Scarf it, Discharge, Nuzzle, all these fun things. You guys can
Not to
look up the
mention a
moves.
pocket
It's
fake out user.
yeah, it's another fake out user too. It does so many different things, and it
You
actually
get
gets
surf and grass knot.
and sing now. By the way, you know what gets sing?
What?
Yeah, Pikachu gets sing now. I was actually recently it was a mystery gift Pokemon or a what was it? I think it was like a game. You could get it in a game, and it gave you sing. So like,
No way
yes,
that's legal in Sword and Shield.
it is. It is now. It just
Oh my
has to
God,
be the
that's
event
cool.
mon that gets it. I think I don't know if you can breed it. I forget. Someone else look it up. But that's Pikachu. We don't need to know much
Not
about
me.
Pikachu, but people don't realize how good this thing is. They look at it and say, "Oh yeah, Pikachu, whatever." But no, Pikachu can, especially in the C tier. This thing is an absolute beast.
Yeah,
So,
not to mention Lightning Rod. So if anybody's planning like a rain team,
Yep.
with it needs a budget Lightning Rod pick, Pikachu all the way, all the way.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. It gets Wish too.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, you can run Pikachu supportively. You can run Pikachu offensively. Pikachu's great. Pikachu's awesome. I don't know why they bothered making any other Pokemon after it.
Well, and cheese with celebrate too. It gets celebrate.
Oh my god, yeah. It get. So speaking of electric types in the C tier, I just wanted to highlight really quick Luxray. In addition to looking super cool, it's an Intimidate user. With 120 attack, 95 special attack, so it can go either or, physical or special, depending on the week.
Not
Its other
many
stats are mediocre.
Intimidate users, actually. There's not a lot
yeah.
of them.
There's not a lot of them, but Luxray is one of the cooler looking ones, if I had to pick one. This thing actually has pretty decent coverage when it comes to its physical moves and its special moves. It gets access to all the fangs. It can hit hard with Wild Charge. It can also be pretty supportive with Roar. I know how much Jay likes Roar. It gets Swagger, Discharge. It also gets Baby Doll Eyes,
Ooh, Howl.
which we highlighted earlier, which is really, really awesome. And it can also lower stats with Baby Doll Eyes and Snarl. It can also up your own stats with Howl. So this thing could be pretty supportive. It also gets pretty cool moves like Crunch, Throat Chop, Play
Max
Rough,
Knuckle.
Psychic Fangs. Yeah. Eerie Impulse as well, if you wanted to lower stats one way. But yeah, I think Luxray looks cool, and I think it's a pretty valuable C tier pick. If anybody wants to decide to pick it up, I think they could have fun with it. I know Jenny did some fun stuff with it in a tournament. I think it was a tournament that or something. But Luxray has a lot of potential, and it looks really cool.
It's no Pikachu, but
yeah, it's no Pikachu,
no.
but it'll do. It'll do.
It'll do. It looks much, well, I can't even say it looks cooler than Pikachu.
Oh yeah, no, because Nintendo would just come to your house and shoot you in the head.
Yep. How many people
Yeah,
are we going to
plus-
piss off on this episode? Kim Jong-un, Pokemon,
Charizard fans.
Charizard fans. You know, they're the
Me,
worst.
I'm mad. Plus, the shiny looks cool. It's it's
The what?
it's shiny. Yeah. Anybody listening right now, we're just gonna do a quick commercial break, really quick. Just head over to teamshiny.com.
Oh my god.
we got some cool new merch up available. And we got some more merch on the way, so use that code SHINY. Whoa, shiny!
We got
Down
some bug
below.
types in
Yeah,
my
for-
Nuzlocke.
Yeah,
Oh god.
use it down below for 15% off. I'm having a baby.
Wow, all of these Age-Rive references.
I love, Kevs is really punching the air right now.
Check
But yeah,
out the description down below for not Age-I's channel, because we're not plugging that. But-
Yeah, we're not plugging him. He has enough. He's almost to 1 million followers though. So a million subscribers. So if everybody who's listening to this would subscribe to A Drive and become part of that A Drive army, we're gonna hit 1 million in no time.
You listen
We're
to
gonna-
his channel so much, don't even lie. For you to know
Yeah,
all of what you just said.
I honestly do watch his Sword and Shield leaks.
I get his
because,
leaks, yeah. I watch his leaks.
Riddler Coup went on private, and I forgot to follow right before he went on private. So all my information is now going through an A Drive filter.
Yeah, I follow him too, the Riddler coup.
Yeah.
I don't do any of the riddles. I just wait until what's his face
Oh, I'm
does
not
the riddles
smart enough.
for me. Yeah,
I'm
I'm not doing that.
I'm not smart enough to do the riddles. But yeah, I think that's it for my C tiers right now.
I'm gonna
At
eliminate
least.
Mr. Rhyme. Everybody knows I fanboy over Mr. Rhyme.
Mr. Little Imposter,
It
Mr.
does
Vitor.
everything. It has so many weaknesses, but it does so many different things. So
That's very true.
based on everything that we just said, all the valuable moves and all the moves that we kind of looked at, this thing gets a lot of them. So go check out Mr. Rhyme yourself. Just a friendly little plug, but a realistic plug. Steelix. Steelix is another sneaky Pokemon in the C tier as well. Known for its crazy high defense, its okayest attack stat ever with 85. And its speed tier is really good at 30. As we mentioned, the base 30 speed tier for Trick Room is just kind of determines what the good ones are. Yes, Trick Room is just good for whatever underspeeds your opponent, but 30 seems to be the magic number for really, really good ones. So just a little fun fact there. Steelix actually was used by a guy named Bryce Young in the same draft league I mentioned before, the Joe UX9 tournament, or the draft league that he had with all those YouTube streamers. And the kill leader in that season was Steelix. Funny enough, and that was a season with Rillaboom, Cinderace, Urshifu, everything was in that league, and Steelix was actually the kill leader. And how did he do it? Weakness policy. This thing, when you Dynamax it, like if you Assault Vest this thing, okay, great. It's almost unkillable. It doesn't have the greatest attack stat, but it does get Body Press, so you can boost your own attack stat. But with weakness policy and Bulldoze, this thing is huge. Just go check out Bryce Young, also known as Manby. He has really, really good content, and you can go check out his old videos, how he used Steelix, and he did it really well. Built a good team around it, too, so which is important. But, yeah, Steelix is awesome. Just getting into a couple things. The coverage is really, really good. Like it gets rock moves, steel moves. It gets a little bit of everything. Ice. I saw fire as well. Fire Fang on a steel type's not common. Max Dragon as well, just to lower the attack to make that defense even better. And not to mention the stab ground, making one of its worst stats much, much better at +1, +2, +3, and so on and so forth. So yeah, Steelix maybe with a coaching user, I think could be really good as well. You throw an Assault Vest on the Steelix and you coach it. This thing could be just what the doctor ordered for your draft. So, and let's just delete Mr. Rhyme off there. Do you want to do D tiers, or you just want me to go into like my little cat's bag?
I can do two D tiers really quick, and then you can go on the rant.
I have too many D tiers, but
you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first D tier I wanted to highlight really quick is another Pokemon that gets a budget Gigantamax pick. Albeit, it's all it does is set. What does it do again? The G-Max Dreadnought? I forget. It sets
it sets
Stealth
rocks,
Rock?
I think.
Yeah,
it sets Stealth Rock.
It sets up Stealth Rock, but nonetheless, this is a
worse.
Swift Swim Pokemon. For those who don't know what Swift Swim does, Google it. It's
Oh my god.
no, just kidding. Swift Swim is pretty self-explanatory.
So
No, it's okay. So Swift Swim doubles this Pokemon's speed under rain. It being a water rock type with access to water type moves, it can set up its own rain if need be. So in the right situation, the 74 speed could double and become incredibly useful to you. Not to mention 90 HP, 115 attack, and 90 defense. This thing can bulk through a lot of physical moves. In the D tier, this thing is really, really good.
It's a good pick.
Yeah, being able to hit hard on the physical side with liquidation, head smash. It even gets Dragon Tail, scale shot. It gets ice moves. It gets Iron Tail. It gets
Poison Jab
high horsepower.
too.
So there you go. There's the max steel, and there's your max quake. Superpower to up your own defense. Throat chop if you want to get rid of Snarl. Say body press if you just want to max steel spike and then body press things to hell. Smart strike if you want this thing to never miss. Rock tomb for speed control. Rock slide as well. Just rock slide honestly is one of the best moves in the game. Like what more could you want? Out of your D tier especially. I mean, if you bring your D tier like situationally as well. This thing is awesome. Vitor, I think, did really well with it.
He used it in the championship match to beat Tevis, actually.
Yeah, so this thing, like Rhea Nicholas, has been used to win the championship.
Oh my goodness. You know what this thing does get as well? So the cool thing about both of his stab moves in a max format is your water doubles your speed because you set the rain. But if you use your stab rock, it gives you a +1 on your special defense because you set the sand for your own rock type. So based on, say, someone sets Trick Room on you, you just use your next turn to cut your speed in half and then boost your special defense. So I think if you could very tactfully use, I don't know, whatever, just use it properly. You could, even in a max mode, like, you're not handcuffed, you know, like you can just attack with a different move, and you can usually be working in both modes, which is really neat, actually. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, this thing is awesome. Not to mention, it looks like that Chad meme.
That you should pick it for that reason alone.
Yeah, exactly that reason. So for my last D tier that I wanted to highlight, is Poltegeist.
This thing's awesome.
Yeah. So in addition, it's a ghost type. So right off the bat, it begins to fake out. With 134 special attack and 114 special defense.
Wait, what? Fake out?
It's immune to fake out.
Oh, immune. I thought you just said ghost type, fake out, moving on. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. And with cursed body and weak armor as well, this thing could be used, I think, pretty situationally. Not to like this thing. It is also not a ton of moves, but it gets Mega Drain or Giga Drain, Strength Sap, Withdraw. It gets Shell Smash, which I think is what the value is. Shadow Ball. So it gets Shell Smash and Baton Pass.
There's a lot of Shell Smash users in the D tier, actually. I think that's actually where they all hang out, like Turtonator, Barbarical.
Does Dreadnought get Shell Smash?
No. Better not.
It does not.
I was going to say, I'm watching your screen. It's like, ooh, it better not.
Yeah. But this thing can enable tons of things. Not to mention just Will-O-Wisp.
It's a cool
Shadow Ball,
for sure.
Dark Pulse, Foul Play, Stored Power, Ally Switch. So Shell Smash and just start stored powering things. I think it'd be pretty cool if you're looking for a nifty D tier pick to just kind of round out your roster and do cool things with. I think Poltegeist is really awesome for that.
It's cool looking. I think it's pretty cool looking. Yeah, and 134 special attack, like, you can't go wrong. Like, you really can't go wrong. Like, it's anything with that high of a stat is just value right off the bat. Referencing the Xurkitree we mentioned earlier as well. Like, it's, you know, you can make it work. It needs support, but you can make it work. And I think, you know, Poltegeist is no exception. It can be really good. So if anybody has played with me for any length of time at all, one of my favorite tiers is the D tier, because I always like finding really cool things. And I'm going to go through them one by one. Maybe just a couple. Actually, quickly. I'll kind of go through quickly, just because we don't have a lot of time. First one I want to go over is Raboot. Jason, Raboot is horrible. It's a middle evolution. It's not even evolved. It's what, like,
not even
why?
a good EV user.
It's not even a good EV. Well, it's okay, I guess. It's not great, but here's why Raboot is awesome. So you throw a Life Orb on any Pokemon, it gives it a 30% boost to whatever damage it's about to do, which is pretty standard. It only has 86 attack. But here's what makes Raboot awesome. Raboot changes its type, obviously, with Libero. So every move it uses is going to be stab. So this 86 attack stat, like, usually everybody's like, oh, this attack stat varies. These damaging stats, such as attack and special attack, they vary based on if you get the same type attack bonus. Raboot gets that for literally every move it uses. So you can use your Libero ability defensively or offensively. You can use it to get your stab boost on every attack, or you can use it, because it's a fire attack, you can use, say, for example, Bounce. Now you're a flying type, you're immune to ground type moves. So it's very hard to hit Cinderace on the ladder for the most part because it's so fast. But if Raboot had a little bit of support, I think that Raboot in the D tier is an absolute steal. And if you have to prep for this thing, it's already done its job. You know, like you're going in, you got all your top tiers and stuff like that. But if your opponent spends even a second thinking about this Raboot and what it can do and is preparing against this thing, it's already done its job, even if it's not used. It's like Tony Stark says, the best weapon you have is no, that was his dad. The best weapon you have is the one you don't have to fire. And then he corrected him and said, best weapon is one you only have to fire once.
I got a pretty good Tony Stark impression.
Can I hear it?
Yeah.
What?
Because he's dead.
Oh, he died. Hey, Space.
Spoiler to anybody
Hey,
who
Space.
hasn't seen Endgame, but like if you haven't seen it at this point, come on.
I love you. I love you 3000.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are his dying words. Spider-Man.
Yeah. Okay, so the last thing about Reboot. So max moves actually change in power based on what moves you have as the base move. So Flare Blitz, for example, a lot of Dynamax moves get to 130. Flare Blitz gets to 140. Bounce obviously gets to 130 as well, but you're really just using it for that speed boost. But your high jump kick gets to 95 instead of 90, which is most max knuckles, so it's even stronger. Yeah, this thing, it gets crazy coverage, it gets the airstream, and it gets your +1 on the max knuckle as well. So max airstream and max knuckle are two of the best max moves you can possibly use, and the fact that you can change your typing and just do some damage calcs. I'm not going to do them here, but I did some Reboot damage calcs, and I was talking to another player, and he was shocked at how much damage it was doing. So have a look. Maybe Reboot something you want to do just for some fun. I've been pitching Shellos to many people in this off season for this draft. I might pick it late based on how my draft goes. If I get sniped, I don't really care. I'm just glad someone's using it. This thing does not have a 4x weakness like the Gastrodon does. So if you don't have an Eviolite user on your team already, Shellos does get respectively bulky. Like, its HP stat is not bad. And like, I'm just looking at its defenses. It'll get up to like 140 defenses with an Eviolite. So you really want it for the Storm Drain mostly. But if you don't kill this thing, you're about to get Yawned. You're about to get Clear Smog. So if you want to activate a weakness policy, this thing can clear the buffs entirely. Icy Wind lowers the speed and recover. Just in case you manage to whittle this thing down, it can just recover off. I think Shellos is a very sneaky thing that I found this off season when I was like scraping the D tier. This thing could be really cool just for its ability alone. It's not going to do a lot of damage at all, but you definitely want to kill this thing because Yawn is one of the most annoying moves in the game. Clear Smog, you can't leave it there, or else, especially with policies. Icy Wind gives you the speed control, and Recover just allows it to heal off. So a very, very cool Pokemon that a lot of people don't really give the time of day. Flareon, probably the most underused evolution next to maybe Glaceon or Leafeon. But Flareon, its attack stat is so friggin' high, but people think, it's really weak with its HP and defense. You put Coaching next to this thing is incredibly strong, and not to mention it gets your Giga Impact, I think. It gets Double Edge.
Yeah, it just doesn't get Pyro Ball.
It doesn't get Pyro. Could you imagine if it got Pyro Ball? G-Max Pyro Ball. Yeah, have a look at Flareon. I think this thing's attack stat is enough. I mentioned the Flare Blitz on the Reboot set, that it gets to 140 on the Stab Fire attack on a max move, so this thing could do a lot of damage. You could run this thing special. It has a respectable 95 special attack stat. So again, maxing and just masking what you are. I think a Life Orb on this thing on a special set could be really good. And it does get it gets some coverage, and it also gets a little bit annoying. Like, all the Evolutions get Baby Doll Eyes, things like that. That's it for Flareon. I think Coaching, this thing's just asking for a Coaching user because its SPDEF is so high. Lopunny, I've been talking about Lopunny for a while, not for the
I could talk about Lopunny for a while, if you know what I mean.
Stay off the internet. Lopunny,
don't look up.
Lopunny has a bunch of really cool moves that it can get. Like, it's the only Pokemon in the game that can switcheroo a Assault Vest onto something. And the way it does that is Klutz negates your item. It makes it so your item has no effect at all, which means you can switcheroo an Assault Vest onto your opponent. Jason, why would you switcheroo a really good item onto your Pokemon? Well, say you're facing a Meowstic male that has Fake Out, Charm, Fake Tears, and Helping Hand. What is that thing going to do with an Assault Vest on it?
Struggle and die.
Or Fake Out and fail every turn. So this set can be used, say you're running into something very stally that's going to set up that you really don't, it can't protect, it can't use iron defense, can't use curse, can't use shell smash, things like that. And this thing is fast enough at 105 that it could kind of catch people off guard with either a fake out and a switcheroo, things like that. It gets other moves as well. You're not going to get a ton of offense out of this thing, but it does get some fun things like helping hand. It can U-turn and get out of there. It's the fastest after you user, I think, in the game, next to Minccino. I think Minccino, whatever the Evo is, it gets to 115, I think. So after you is incredible, especially with Trick Room and stuff. So very cool. Marshtomp or Litten, take your pick. I'm only going to talk about one.
Litten.
Let's do Litten. Hey, do you love Incineroar space?
UI, not as much as Octo, but
Oh yeah, you love them for different reasons though. So Litten, don't look at its stats. They're horrible. This thing needs a focus sash. Don't even think about Eviolite. This thing absolutely needs a focus sash. But if you like Incineroar, this thing gets Fake Out. It still gets Parting Shot. It still gets Will-O-Wisp. This thing could give you a little bit of an edge if you're looking for maybe even Roar as well, actually, just in case something's going to set... no attacks. Brutal. Let's just throw Heat Wave on there, because why not? But yeah, Parting Shot is really cool. 70 speed is not 0. So I don't think this thing is the greatest. I think someone could use it, it doesn't necessarily need... Like, Parting Shot's one of the best moves in the game. So I think this thing could work really, really nicely. So Marshtomp is just Marshtomp, so I'll just delete that. That's pretty much it for my D tiers. There's a whole bunch more. If anybody wants to talk drafts or D tiers or whatever it is, me and Space, like we do draft prep all the time. It's just a lot of fun.
Not me. I choose my best friends. Not.
Oh my goodness. Pikachu round 1. Yeah,
exactly. Pikachu, Charizard, Lucario, whatever.
Gengar,
stuff.
Dragonite. Yeah.
Sirfetch'd, Dracovish.
Ooh, Sirfetch'd. We didn't even talk about Sirfetch'd. Oh my goodness.
You want to go over it real quick?
No. Go look. Everybody, go look at Sirfetch'd. Do your own work.
Yeah, that's your homework.
Stop being lazy. Why are you even watching this?
So I think that's all that we have for y'all today.
Yeah, I'm tired.
I'm Space City VGC, Space City PC,
and I'm spacing out.
Yeah, I'm zoning out. I'm
venting. We're venting out.
We're venting. We're venting out. We're following Vitor. But yeah, I think that's all that we have for y'all today. We'll catch y'all on the flip side.
Catch you on the Menjay Sislickas.
Peace.
Peace.
It's the world.